Drummer Zachary Gibbs in the house. We just came back from an awesome Christmas concert. This is my boy, second generation drummer. And today we are talking about habits. We're talking about it's not 21 days that makes a habit. We're going to talk about where that came from and how many days it actually takes to build a habit. So Zachary decided that he wanted to do drums. Did it take you more than 21 days to learn to play the drums?
Absolutely. I was so bad.
Well, how many days would you say that it did take for you to learn to play the drums?
2 months.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, that was not scripted. We're going to go somewhere in a minute. And it's awesome that he said that because that's straight, legit, honest truth. So it took more than 21 days. And you said you've been at it for like 6 months, a year-ish?
Almost a year.
Almost a year. And now he's getting pretty good. He's good enough that he's like on the stage with the jazz band doing the Christmas concert, right? So congratulations.
Thank you.
Mom win. But the 2 months, what happened in the 2 months? By the time 2 months happened, how could you tell that you were getting a habit that your body was starting to remember?
Because it sounded right and muscle memory was kicking in.
Okay. And so it just felt like more of a flow or that kind of thing?
I was definitely on beat more often. It sounded better. I was getting more fills down. It was a lot easier to learn new songs. It was fun.
So you started feeling some mastery.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, say goodnight to the people.
See you later.
It's bedtime. I'm going to send you off. Thank you for appearing on the show.
Okay.
So let's talk about, see ya, bye. Let's talk about the science of what's going on. Where did this 21 days to a habit, where did that come from? Well, actually, it's a misinterpretation from a very famous source. A lot of people are familiar with the psychocybernetics, and that's the story of a plastic surgeon, Maxwell Maltz, and he would talk about how he would do plastic surgeries on people, and sometimes they could wrap their head around it and felt like a great, fabulous new made over person, and sometimes they just didn't even see any difference at all, which is a super awesome topic, and I'm going to dive deep into that another time. But the point that we're talking about today is what he said. He noticed it would take people about 21 days to adjust to the change in their body, whether they were getting a leg amputated or like just a nose job or whatever it was. What the new surgery change in their body, it took them about 21 days to adapt and kind of get back to normal life. And maybe, and now this is subjective. It depends on kind of the type of habit that you're trying to reinforce, the difficulty of it. Like if you're just trying to drink water every day, that's going to be an easier habit to adopt than starting, a whole workout routine or planning your meals start to finish, or, so the complexity of the habit does have some bearing there. But for the most part, we're wanting to start making changes a little bit at a time. And so if it doesn't take 21 days, if that's just kind of like you get your hair colored and it takes you a few days to adjust to yourself in the mirror, right? You're like, who is that? If you change your hair cut or color. So if we're wanting to install new habits, leave bad ones behind ideally and install new ones, then how much time do you need, right? So what this 21 days comes from is, he said that was the minimum. Maxwell Maltz says that was when they were adjusting to their new self, and it was more of a minimum. But as people talked about it and shared this information around over the decades, people kind of stopped dropping off the minimum part and just started talking about 21 days. And there's all kinds of books about 21 days now. So what happened is in 2009, there was a PhD, a senior researcher at University College London. And in 2009, she did a study and she published it in the European Journal of Social Psychology. I want to get my sources right there. And what she found is it took an average of 18 to 254 days to make a habit. And now don't get daunted by the 8 months or whatever it is, because again, it goes back to the complexity of the habit. But the average is 66 days. So if you have heard it takes 66 days to make a habit, that's where it's coming from. It's this average that she found, as little as 18, as much as 254, but really right about that 66 day mark was a pretty good barometer for if people were going to be able to have their new habit installed. And so what you're wanting to look for is not 3 weeks, it's more like 10 weeks, right? It's over 2 months. And here's another fun saying: practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Right? So if you're trying to get a new habit, who goes and tries and starts a new habit and something they want to do and it's been hard and they've never done it before and they just automatically go day 1 to day 21 with perfect execution? No one. It's not a habit yet. If they could do it, it would be habit already, right? And so by giving yourself the 66 days, part of what happens is maybe you start and you're real excited and you do 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row, but then you miss one and you're like, shoot. Instead of feeling like you perpetually have to start this whole 21-day perfect run all over again, what you do over the course of the 66 days is, you do sprints, you do like that 5 days in a row, but then maybe you have a day off. Shoot. Okay. So then maybe you do like a week or 10 days. And then if you miss one, and it gives you a chance to build up your stamina for the new habit, to build the new grooves in your brain, to build the muscle memory in your hand, if it's a thing that you're doing, in your mind, in your daily routine, if you're really carving those grooves into your brain of that you're going to do it, it gives you time to get used to the idea that I am now the kind of person that does these things all the time, every day, right? You're building identity. That's part of what the habits do, is help you become that new kind of person that does the thing automatically. And there's so much power in that. And so the 66 days, I love it because I feel like there's a little bit of grace in there. I feel like you're allowed to mess up a little because we don't have to do the 66 days all in a row perfectly, right? Like we might feel like we had to do the 21 days in a row to make your habit. With the 66 days, you get to try and be human. And if you fall down because, hello, it's not a habit yet, you're still on the path. You're still on the plan. You didn't fail. You don't have to throw in the towel. You don't have to be discouraged and feel like, oh man, yeah, I'm never going to get it. You've got plenty of runway to get going again and to try again. So that's where the 66 days come from. It is science. It is, I think, a little more patient approach. See, here's part of the problem too, is people that want to do a new habit, they're like, well, I feel like maybe I can commit to a week or two. Okay, 3 weeks max, I can commit. Like they would rather, in general, common people would rather commit to 21 days of doing something than 66 days. That just feels like a marathon, right? Like that just feels like a lot to take on. And it feels like if it's not your habit, that you might be more likely to fail with the 66 days. But that's where the perception needs to get flipped over and realize, hey, you have a lot more chance to succeed when you build yourself 66 days to really get established, to build momentum. And the thing is too, you don't want to just if you're doing the 21-day thing, you don't want to get to day 22 and be like, oh, whew, that it should all be autopilot by now. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to try. You don't want to let yourself off the hook, because even if you do have a new habit started by then, it's going to be fragile. It needs nurturing. And some other things that you can put in place for yourself: community, like-minded people doing the same thing, encouraging you when things get tough, right? Automatic reminders in your phone. There's tools that you can help create an environment that helps you to succeed, right? So think about, if you are trying to install a new habit, what resources do you potentially have that you may not have realized, that you may not have thought to use, that could support you in becoming this new higher version of yourself? So exciting, so fun. So congratulations. You actually get more than triple the time that you thought you did to get your new habit in play. And there's something you can take a breath. Okay. So if you're going to up level some portion of your life, they say easy come, easy go. It's better to earn it slowly and make sure it sticks. And so stick with me. I am your mentor, Jennifer Lucas Gibbs, with Infinite Step Mentoring and the See Yourself Beautiful movement. Come on over to seeyourselfbeautiful.com if you want to check out the next 4-day challenge, where I teach you how to see all kinds of cool stuff about yourself that's already there, but most of the time you just can't see it. So let me help you to do that. I love supporting you on your path. Thank you for joining me today. I want you to remember, you are infinite. Your potential your amazingness, your capability, your capacity to learn, to grow, to give, all those things. You're infinite, and it's a beautiful thing. All right. I will see you next time.
You know, it might be someplace else that I